11 years ago, a sci-fi movie made waves with its spine-chilling visual effects that still hold up against today's films. If you were ranking all the zombie movies out there, this one would easily land in most people's top 3. It boasts a solid 7 out of 10 on IMDb, praised for both its compelling story and stunning visuals. The film follows Jerry, an ex-UN investigator who finds himself stuck in a massive traffic jam in Philadelphia with his family. Things go south when a traffic cop smashes his rearview mirror and bolts. While Jerry is outside checking the damage, a huge explosion rocks the street, sending people sprinting in panic. Jerry jumps back in the car just in time to dodge a careening truck that plows through the chaos, hitting a nearby cop. Thanks to his combat background, Jerry's quick to follow the truck's path to escape. His young daughters, totally unprepared for such chaos, freak out in the car. While trying to calm them, an ambulance slams into their side. Luckily, they're shaken but unharmed. Jerry quickly gets his family out of the car to escape on foot. He notices that people bitten by zombies turn into one themselves within just 12 seconds. A key detail that helps him save many lives during their harrowing escape. They find an abandoned Chevy RV and flee the zombie-infested downtown. As they head to the suburbs, his oldest daughter, who has had asthma since she was little, suffers an attack due to the stress, and they're out of medicine. Just as Jerry stops to help her, his phone rings. It's his old boss from the UN, calling him back to help investigate what's causing the zombie outbreak. They're sending a helicopter to pick him up. To get medicine for his daughter's asthma, Jerry drove to a supermarket in Newark. Armed with a rifle he found in the RV, he and his wife split up. He took his older daughter to find medication, while his wife and younger daughter went to look for food and other supplies. At the pharmacy, Jerry was confronted by a young man with a gun, but it turned out he was there to help. After hearing about the asthma medicine Jerry needed, the young man handed over several types of medication. Just then, Jerry heard his younger daughter crying. He rushed to find her, only to see his wife being assaulted by 2 thugs on the ground. Jerry quickly intervened, and when one of the thugs drew a gun on him, he was forced to shoot in self-defense, killing the assailant. Just as he rescued his wife, a police officer ran in. Jerry thought he was about to be arrested and raised his hands in surrender, but the officer ignored him, revealing he was also there to scavenge supplies. It was clear that societal norms had broken down. It was every man for himself. After leaving the supermarket, Jerry discovered their RV was gone. With no vehicle, the family headed to a nearby apartment building. He called the Deputy Secretary General to update him on their location, only to be told that the helicopter wouldn't arrive until the next morning, forcing them to spend the night in the unsafe city. As they reached the street, a zombie fell onto a car right beside them, and countless others were rushing towards them. Jerry led his family into an apartment building. While they were fleeing, a kind family of 3 opened their door and let them in. After spending the night, Jerry wanted to take the kind family with them to the rooftop to escape by helicopter, but they declined, feeling safer in their home. Respecting their wishes, Jerry prepared for the journey by taping a fruit knife to his rifle and binding magazines around his wrists for protection. The way to the rooftop was swarming with zombies. As Jerry and his family made their way up the emergency staircase, a zombie tackled him to the ground, splattering his blood in Jerry's mouth. Jerry shot the zombie dead and turned to see the kind family's young son standing before him. The family's apartment had been breached by zombies after all. Jerry grabbed the boy and ran to the rooftop. Standing at the edge, he timed himself for 12 seconds to see if he would turn into a zombie. By some stroke of luck, or perhaps because he was just too handsome to turn, Jerry didn't mutate. Just then, the helicopter arrived. Holding the door against the zombies with his magazine-wrapped arms, he waited until his family was safely aboard before sprinting to the helicopter himself. After securing his own family's safety, the transformed father of the boy Jerry had rescued was the first to charge it. With no other choice, Jerry had to shoot the mutated father, ending the threat. With the soldiers' help, Jerry and the young boy made it safely onto the helicopter. They clung to each other as the helicopter whisked them away from the zombie-ridden city, eventually landing on an aircraft carrier 200 miles from New York. This carrier had become America's Noah's Ark, a safe haven for the nation's elite. Even the president hadn't made it here. He was among the casualties. Once settled, the Secretary General showed Jerry and his family to their quarters before taking Jerry to the command center of the carrier. The screens there displayed the grim reality. The zombie virus had engulfed the entire country, and the global situation was no better. The highest commander on the ship informed Jerry that the first known cases of the zombie virus had appeared in North Korea. They planned to send a top virologist to trace the virus's origin, and Jerry, with his unmatched skills as a former UN investigator, was asked to assist. Reluctantly, after initially refusing to leave his family again, Jerry agreed when he was starkly reminded that there were no free riders on this ship. Help or his family would have to leave. Before leaving, Jerry gave his wife a satellite phone to keep in touch daily and kissed his children goodbye. Then he resolutely embarked on his journey. A Lockheed C-130 Hercules took off from the carrier, a feat more often theorized than realized, yet vividly brought to life in the film. Jerry was accompanied by a young doctor with a unique perspective on the pervasive zombie virus. He believed that every virus has its flaw, often at its most potent point. This insight would later prove crucial. Upon landing at a U.S. military base in South Korea in the pouring rain, they were immediately met with zombies. The inexperienced doctor panicked and ran back towards the plane, slipping and accidentally discharging his handgun, fatally wounding himself before he could even begin his crucial work. American soldiers quickly secured Jerry and brought him safely back to camp. At the base, Jerry learned from the captain that zombies are particularly attracted to sound. Though the doctor was dead, they had a North Korean defector who knew something valuable. He revealed that North Korea had avoided the apocalypse by removing the teeth of 23 million people in one day, preventing the zombies from biting and spreading the infection. Additionally, the defector shared that another place had successfully halted the virus, Jerusalem. He advised Jerry to find a man named Jurgen there for answers. Before departing, the base captain gave Jerry a ring, asking him to deliver it to his mother, a somber acceptance of his likely fate. They prepared bicycles for the trip to the airstrip, as they were the quickest and quietest mode of transport. However, a call from Jerry's wife on the satellite phone unwittingly awakened nearby zombies. The captain drove a truck to clear a path for them, but during the escape, he was bitten on the leg. As the plane left South Korea for Jerusalem, Jerry, heavy-hearted, met Jurgen. Under his guidance, Jerry saw how Jerusalem had been spared. They had built high walls that kept the zombies out, and within these walls the survivors sang joyously, unaware of the impending danger. The loud singing attracted hordes of zombies who piled on top of each other until they scaled the walls. Realizing too late the peril, Jerry saw countless zombies spill over into the city. Machine gun fire did little against the flood of undead. Ironically, the walls that once protected Jerusalem now trapped everyone inside. As Jerry ran with the fleeing crowd, he spotted an elderly man standing amid the zombies, unattacked. Several Israeli female soldiers escorted Jerry to the airfield. As the undead tide surged towards them, they took refuge in a nearby building. During their escape, Jerry noticed a frail, bald boy whom the zombies completely ignored, passing him by as if he were invisible. With zombies overwhelming them, the soldiers resorted to throwing grenades. As the smoke cleared, one of the female soldiers, armed with a CAR-15 assault rifle, took down an attacking zombie, but was bitten on the hand. Reacting swiftly, Jerry amputated her hand with a single stroke and started the critical 12-second countdown. When she didn't turn into a zombie, Jerry knew he had saved her life. They raced to the airport only to watch helplessly as their transport plane took off in fear before their eyes. With no other option, they commandeered a civilian plane about to take off. The pilot lowered the gangway, and Jerry, along with the injured soldier, boarded the plane. By then, the airport was crawling with zombies, but they managed to take off without further incidents. On board, Jerry disinfected and bandaged the soldier's stump, ensuring her survival. Feeling like a burden, the female soldier expressed her despair, sparking a revelation in Jerry. He recalled the doctor's words about the virus's weakness, the elderly man and the sickly boy who were ignored by zombies. Suddenly, it clicked for Jerry how to exploit the zombies' behavior. He immediately contacted the Secretary General via satellite phone and instructed the pilot to head to the nearest WO research facility as per the Secretary General's guidance. As the passengers tried to rest, a pet dog began growling incessantly, sensing something amiss in the cargo hold. A flight attendant, curious and concerned, pressed the elevator button to the cargo area to fetch some blankets. Jerry, awakened by noises from the rear cabin, pulled back the curtain to discover the back of the plane had inexplicably filled with zombies. He urged everyone to keep quiet as they blocked the aisles with luggage. However, a passenger accidentally dropped a suitcase, alerting the zombies, who surged forward unstoppable. When a zombie lunged at Jerry, the one-armed soldier saved him by firing her gun. Realizing they were overwhelmed, Jerry pulled a grenade from her vest and hurled it, blowing a hole in the plane and sucking the zombies out. But the resulting depressurization meant the plane was going down. Jerry and the soldier strapped themselves in as the plane crashed into a forest. When Jerry awoke, the soldier was gone, and a piece of shrapnel was embedded in his abdomen. Enduring the pain, he unfastened his seatbelt and staggered to his feet. The soldier returned, and together they limped to a deserted residential area where they stumbled upon a research institute. When Jerry awoke again, he found his wounds neatly bandaged. It turned out they were at a medical research facility. Jerry shared his goal to secure highly lethal pathogens like scarlet fever or meningitis, not to infect zombies, but to make humans appear sick. The researchers scoffed, thinking it futile since the pathogens wouldn't affect the undead. But Jerry explained that the zombies only targeted healthy hosts. Appearing sick could act as camouflage. Realizing the merit in Jerry's plan, the researchers agreed to help. But the necessary pathogens were stored in another building swarming with zombies. Jerry the soldier and the head researcher armed themselves and sneaked across, quietly avoiding zombies. But a mishap with a metal cabinet alerted the horde. To allow the others to escape, Jerry led the zombies away by making noise. He reached the pathogen storage and, finding himself trapped, he injected himself with the pathogens as a last resort. After the pathogens took effect, he opened the door and, as hypothesized, the zombies ignored him. Jerry drank a can of Pepsi, relieved for the first time, having discovered a potential salvation for humanity. He then triggered the vending machine to draw the zombies toward him, walking among them unharmed, now hailed as a savior. The United Nations developed a vaccine that allowed humans to disguise themselves from zombies, preserving the ember of humanity. And as the war between humans and zombies only just began, it was a stark reminder that despite potential losses, love remains humanity's driving force for survival.